As we celebrate Black History Month, we're looking at how the hit Netflix show Bridgerton is changing our understanding of the past. The Shonda Rhimes-produced period drama is the most watched Netflix series ever. It reimagined 1800s England as a time when relationships between races are not forbidden and a place where people of color are front and center. Despite critics of the diverse casting, Imtiaz Tyab shows us that Britain's upper classes really do have a very real, multiracial history.
Record-breaking, boundary-pushing, and oh so sexy. Bridgerton sizzles in a way few period dramas do. But make no mistake,
Viscountess Bridgerton.
The Shonda Rhimes Regency-era romance, with its multiracial cast, isn't an act of colorblind casting.
Flawless, my dear.
Race here is addressed head-on.
Look at their marriage. Look at everything it is doing for us. We were two separate societies, divided by color, until a king fell in love with one of us.
That king is the very real George III, who married Queen Charlotte in 1761, a German aristocrat whose racially ambiguous features have long divided historians over possible African roots.
My king.
But in Bridgerton, Queen Charlotte is resplendent in silks and towering wigs, all while being unmistakably black.
See to it that you do.
The pivotal role is portrayed by classically trained British Guyanese actress Golda Rosheuvel.
Because for the first time, I was allowed to be in a story. Do you know what I mean? I felt seen.
What do you say to those who say it's not accurate for worlds to be created in which people who look like you or me shouldn't be in period dramas?
There is a reality, I think, where other people existed. Other people's stories were going on at the same time. And that's why I kind of look on Downton Abbey, in a positive light. Because I take from their exclusion a positive journey to inclusion.
Downton Abbey is by no means the first period drama to largely leave black and brown people out of its storylines, but it's perhaps the most famous. The show's creator, Julian Fellowes, says the reason he casts mostly white productions is because you can't make something untruthful. But it's an argument that rests on a falsehood, says artist Hannah Uzor. For years, she's been researching the lives of historical black British figures in the upper classes and, with her paintbrush, brings them to life in her vivid portraits.
There's still a lot of racial inequality, and having to highlight those stories just helps people to understand why we're here, in a sense. We are not othered, or we haven't just arrived. We've been here with the very fabric of this society.
Uzor's most celebrated painting is of Sarah Forbes Bonetta, Queen Victoria's African goddaughter, who was born in 1843 in what is modern-day Nigeria and Benin, and spent part of her childhood in England under the monarch's care.
I think Sarah's story is very important because it helps to bring about a part of our history that we don't want to look at. How we represent black people in history, and also how we bring the story, the complete story of our history, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and talk about it. And I think Sarah helps us to question some of our own prejudices.
Prejudice is something Golda Rosheuvel says she's faced far too often as a black actress, and before Bridgerton, frequently made her feel as if she'd been pushed into a professional abyss.
I remember a time in my career where, I had to change my perspective on my own career, and I was frustrated, and I wasn't seeing, a queen, a black queen, and a black duke, and a Lady Danbury.
It is so wonderful to see you, Lady Danbury.
And I had to kind of really search in myself for my own self-worth, and I started to say no. And
it's pretty tough as an actor to say no.
And I was out of work for a while. But, I come from quite a strong stock, and just the persevering. My family, I come from a family that never I never heard, oh, you can't do that because of the way you look. Everything was possible for me.
You just need the world to catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. You need the world to catch up, and I think it is. I think it's better, it's brighter.
For CBS This Morning, Imtiaz Tyab, London.
Bravo to Golda as the queen. I always think it's so nice to be underestimated and over-delivered. She must feel such validation.
And she's so great as the queen, Bridgerton. She really is.
It's perfect.
You know, and if you want to hear more of Golda Rochevelle's conversation with Imtiaz Tyab, you can do so on today's CBS This Morning podcast. She talks about how playing the queen was like wearing pieces of art. Also hints about what to expect from season 2. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah.